It's time to check Adam's voicemail.
Ace Man, this is Pete from Malden in Pennsylvania. I was watching college football yesterday and I noticed there's no more beer commercials. What the fuck happened to this country? Get it on.
You can leave us a message at 888-634-1744.
Yeah, I think there's beer commercials. They
During college games?
They don't let them drink it, which is so weird. We're archaic and weird.
Oh, you mean that we don't allow college students to drink? I'm like, there's drinking at college games allowed.
No, we don't allow in the commercial for them to drink the beer.
Oh, it's just them showing it.
They can show it, they can toast, and they can bring it up to their lips, but they cannot actually drink it. So it's always weird because they toast, like in those Modelo commercials. They go, you worked hard. You learned the art of automotive upholstery, and you hitchhiked from Tijuana to Los Angeles. Now you run an upholstery shop. And they show them all in the back, in the kitchen, or at the upholstery shop where they are, and they hoist their beer, they click them, and then they all go down to their waist. And it's like, well, last I checked, once you clink the beers, then you take a draw off the beer. It's bad luck.
You're not supposed to cheer.
You don't cheer and then go back down to your waist. You got to go into your soup cooler.
It's funny. I saw a Corona commercial the other day, and now that I didn't even put that together. It's like the guy was like pushing the lime into the bottle.
Right. Yeah, but they don't. We're weirdos because I don't know who you're offending here or even what laws we're breaking. I mean, these are old laws, I guess. But
I think they probably were around, well, if children are watching the game, we don't want children to be enticed to drink. So the visualization I know, it's dumb.
You're showing the product and you're implying we're at a barbecue with my Mexican buddies. We're obviously going to put down a few Modelos.
Sunday fun day, man.
Yeah. All right, anyway.
Family barbecue.
Oh, you've earned it.
Hold it up high.
Yeah.
You don't just give an extra hand. You give your whole heart because it feels good to raise up the community that raised you. You are a fighter, and this is your reward. Modelo, the mark of a fighter.
It's like, hey, let's go tap some beers together, right? And then back to your hip, and then back to talking at the barbecue. So we're just gonna.
It's a very well-ironed shirt for a barbecue.
I agree, and also one of those people should take a sip out of their beer. Not all three of them shouldn't go down to their side. I always do that thing too. You know when you order drinks at a restaurant and then your drink shows up. I'm always like leaning in a drink and someone's looking at me going, we should do and I'm like, oh, yeah. All right.
I mean, you don't always cheers or toast.
No, not always.
That happened to me yesterday. My drink came before other people's drink, and I was like, I really want to take a sip of that. But I didn't want to be rude.
No,
it's
not. It was rude. I know, but it never bothers anyone. Anyway,
really?
All right, news. What do you got with the news?
I've got some things that bother me, and I think they're going to bother you, too. A
good.
Chicago elementary teacher mocked Charlie Kirk's assassination with a gesture to her throat. We have video of it right here.
Yeah.
At a No Kings protest over the weekend.
Yeah.
Here we go. Look at this lovely lady.
Yeah, she's doing the bang, bang, bang.
The bang
Finger
to the neck.
in the neck. Yeah.
So the young man in the truck was obviously taking video and driving by in a pickup truck with a flag calling Charlie Kirk a hero. And a lot of people were flipping the bird. But that lovely lady right there who teaches elementary school students in a Chicago suburb at Nathan Hale Elementary School, of course, gestured to put her finger to her neck and pretend to pull a trigger saying bang, bang. It's unclear if she was fired or faced any disciplinary action. Chicago Public Schools said they, quote, remain committed to creating and maintaining a welcoming, safe, and inclusive teaching and learning environment free from harassment, bias, or harm of any kind.
All right, let me just say this. What school they at?
Nathan Hale Elementary School in Chicago, Illinois.
Oh, is that the skipper from Gilligan's Island?
Was that his real life name?
Alan Hale, but who's keeping track? Here's my point. If my kid was in the 4th grade at Nathan Hale in Chicago with their progressive teachers unions, and that kid had a grilled cheese sandwich, and that kid chewed the grilled cheese sandwich so it was in the shape of a handgun and then held it up, he would be suspended.
Oh, yes.
And they would probably call the cops.
Yes.
And they would pull him out of the cafeteria.
They'd assign him a therapist.
And they'd sign him a therapist, and they'd put him in the office, and then I'd get the call at work that I had to come pick him up, and I would say, why? And they'd go, well, he took a grilled cheese, and he bit into it in such a way that it kind of resembled a handgun, and so we're going to have him arrested. But this bitch can do the gun to the jugular all she wants, and they're never going to fire her or discipline her. Does that make sense to you? Does that sound consistent to you? I never thought I would hate teachers more than I did when I was in junior high, but I officially hate them all. COVID put me over the top.
Yeah.
Teachers' unions
are the worst.
Teachers, all the LA Unified, the whole COVID shutdown thing. You're all fucking horrible. I hate teachers now. You're just there to indoctrinate kids now. And the double standard of if you brought nail clippers to that campus, you would be arrested and they would call the cops. But this fat cow can put a finger to her neck and simulate the assassination of a young man who died a month ago. No problemo.
No.
And they'll fight for her future.
It is very cowardly that Chicago Public Schools refused to make comment. They said, please refer to our website. The elementary school's website, by the way, was totally taken down.
Yeah,
because
by the way,
I'm sure they were getting hit up by people all across the country, including upset parents, and rightfully so.
Yes. So these are the people that are teaching your kids. And here's the thing, everybody, if you want to know what's going on. This is their ideology, and they cannot separate it from their work and what they do. And also, your job is to shape the hearts and minds of young people. So if this is your ideology and you're shaping the hearts and minds of young people, then you're going to shape them toward your ideology. To
be potential assassins for people that they may or may not politically disagree with?
Well, okay. Do not take this in the spirit in which it's intended.
Yeah.
Women have a difficult time doing a thing where they go, look, this is how I feel. Like I always
separating
use this
the
example.
feelings from the action.
I am a full-fledged vegan. I believe meat is murder.
Yes.
I don't think animal protein should be consumed.
Yes.
I think a cow and a pig have every bit the right to live as we do, and we're all God's creatures. But I will sit there and watch you eating a pulled pork sandwich, and I won't say a fucking word. I've never met that woman. I've never met her. They feel
kind of like the guys that do CrossFit.
Yes, they feel
the need to tell you.
They feel the need to put that on you. I've never met that woman. And maybe that's a good quality because maybe that's why they're good with the mommies. Yes. But it's not good when you're teaching kids to lay your shitty ideology on them, but I know you can't help it.
I want all of the parents at Nathan Hale Elementary to contact the Post and other outlets that are now covering this and share the stories that you know exist of those fourth graders. We don't know what grade she taught specifically. She, of course, has not reached out to comment to the media, but like what so you're telling me she's teaching 8 and 9-year-olds and she's never brought up like after the election or the Dobbs decision politics in the classroom? Can you imagine
sitting in her class with a MAGA hat on?
She'd have you expelled.
Yes.
She would say it was hate speech or something.
Drawn and quartered, right.
She's one of those ladies that's like never had a boyfriend and never been pregnant, but she's upset about women losing their rights.
I don't know. She kind of looked pregnant there. That could have just been a little pannis slopping over the waistband.
I just love how the Chicago Public Schools has said that they do not comment on specific personnel matters.
By the way, I love it when people who don't weigh in go, we don't weigh in. Yeah, I'm sure you weighed in on George Floyd and the need to and equity.
They probably even
they took a day off.
They weighed in on like the genocide in Gaza.
Yes, they weigh in on everything except for when they get into trouble and then they don't weigh in.
But I mean, so now there's this story about this candidate for Senate in Maine that has like a straight up Nazi tattoo. Not like the Pete Hegseth. They thought it was a Nazi tattoo, but it's a military tattoo. Mm-hmm. And you have that leaked chat by these idiot, young Republicans that were saying that they loved Hitler and using like Nazi code and crap. There was so much media attention about that group chat for a week, solid week. Mm-hmm. You have this candidate in Maine, nothing. You have this teacher in Chicago, nothing. And then you have liberals who will openly post, jokes about Charlie Kirk memorials being a fountain with like water coming out his neck.
Right.
simulating him bleeding to death.
Right.
But no. Alas, those never get coverage.
Yeah, well, they are super angry and somewhat violent, and I've always known it because I had a hippie mom and all the flower power and peace and love and all that.
Was bullshit?
It's all veneer. There's rage just beneath the surface. And they do tons of projection. Like they accuse you of being cruel and
that's
angry.
narcissism.
Yes. It's all just projection. You know, like he's evil, he's cruel, he's racist. Like, okay, all right, you're the one who's super angry all the time. And if you agitate them, it just comes out. They can't help it. It's basically, you could poke at certain people for a while, but if you poke at Mike Tyson, you'll get punched. It's just kind of who he is. You know what I mean? And that's who they are. They cannot stop. And it's also, there's an impulse problem they have. Like they can't prevent themselves. Like that woman gets triggered and immediately goes right into the Charlie Kirk dance, you know.
Gross.
But anyway, I don't, you know, it's kind of a fine line because you go, free speech, and this was off school grounds and not during school hours.
She can protest at all she wants, but when you take an action, like when I saw that, I was like, oh, if that girl's on a green card, I hope Marco Rubio deports her. Because it's like any action, I am fine with, like, you know, start with that. Start culling all of the illegal immigrants or even legal immigrants that are here that are wishing death on Americans. You don't belong.
Right.
Clearly, if she's born here, she has different rights. She has a right to free speech. But that is like, I don't know, I'm not a lawyer. Is that an incitement of violence? Like you're not allowed to...
I would say that if you work with kids, there's a different standard than if you work at the Ford factory assembling F-150s. And I would be amenable to that, just like I would say airline pilots have a different standard when it comes to sobriety than construction workers.
Or a brain surgeon.
Yes. So I would go, I'm okay with slightly different standards.
Yep.
And a construction worker can tie one on Super Bowl Sunday and show up, you know, Monday morning and swing a hammer. No one really cares. But I don't think we'd want our airline pilots doing that.
No.
So I think we're allowed to make distinctions. And what I would say is...
I don't want that teaching my second grader.
Thank you. All right, next story.
Next story is people freaking out. It was men and women, though, and this was in CBS Mornings co-host's Instagram page, Gayle King. So Gayle King and our buddy over at Fox News, Jesse Waters, were on a 4-hour cross-country flight together. And she posted a photo with the caption that these friends from TV from competing networks, she said, speaking for Jesse Waters here, a good time was had by all. Hi, Jesse, saving your number. People were very upset in the comments. They said she was trying to suck up to Barry Weiss, who, of course, is the new editor-in-chief of CBS News over there.
Yeah.
Some people said, Gayle, this is not it.
By the way, one of Mike August's greatest things is, this is mostly for you, Dawson, but he'll go, I did a thing with Barry Weiss a few months ago in Austin, but he'll go, Barry Weiss says we should be at the theater by 7. I'll go, I think she goes by Barry. Barry, who cares? I go, well, she cares, Mike. Yeah, well, she spells it B-A-R-I. I go, Mike, it's Barry. I don't know why. It's just Barry. I know
That's
you.
what her mom calls her.
I know
That's
who
what you should call
cares,
her.
but I don't know who cares. I don't know. Why do we have names?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I remember he was really excited about booking the band Dokken. Remember Dokken was going to be on.
I love Dokken.
My name is ELISHA, not Alicia, Mike. Just throwing that out there.
And oh God, I had that. Sorry, I'll think. I think it was Matt Welsh versus Matt Walsh. But every time I go, Mike, that's not the guy's name. He goes, oh, whatever. I just go, all right, well, whatever's fine, except for when you talk to the person, you call them the wrong. You know, there's potential here. Let's just change it.
So other commentators, of
Barry
course,
wanted what?
So some people were saying that Gayle is just trying to suck up to Barry. Some people, of course, stoop to the Nazi Jesse. All he does is lie. Oprah's tone-deaf bestie is not reading the room.
I always like tone deaf.
the tone deaf. Like whose tone? Like you
There's
think your
a
tone is in
tone.
tune with the rest of the country? Yeah.
They're on a United flight sitting in first class. What tone are we talking about? Gayle, listen, Jesse's a nice guy. Most folks are nice, and when they come together, it's almost like most fighters, getting back to the Mike Tyson thing, most fighters are pretty chummy out of the ring. It's a job, and their job is to annihilate you in the ring, but outside the ring, they understand.
This
That's
is
how it
something
works.
I saw like in a previous life. When I worked for Hannity, he and Al Sharpton would do debates. He and Chris Matthews would go after each other on TV back when Chris Matthews had an MSNBC show. But like you'd see him in the halls at the DNC, the RNC, at LaGuardia, and everybody's nice to each other.
Yeah.
And they should be nice. I think that sometimes right and left get this wrong, where it's like, yeah, why? And I don't think that Jesse's fans are going to be like, why are you taking a picture with her? But some hardcore righties might.
The left is less tolerant, and the left is
decency?
less tolerant. Well, they should be less tolerant because if, let's say, Don Jr. is taking a picture with Bill Maher, or Don Jr. is taking a picture with George Clooney, or whomever on that side of the aisle, Jimmy Kimmel. Okay. So according to the people that watch, Don Jr. is taking a picture with someone he disagrees with, but Jimmy Kimmel's taking a picture with Hitler, which is a greater offense. You see what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, like when Gutfeld was on with Kimmel. I remember being like, "Oh, this is nice. They're competitors."
Oh wait, he was on,
or was he on with Kimmel?
Fallon.
No, sorry, Fallon.
I think it was Fallon. But
Sorry.
the point
Both
is,
Jimmys.
point is this: if no one should be posing for pictures with Hitler,
Yes.
you can pose if you play for the Dodgers and you play for Toronto. We can take a picture together. We're on separate teams. But if you play for the Toronto Hitlers, then I really shouldn't be taking a picture with you. And so more protesting comes from the left because they're the ones who call the other person Hitler.
And if you're
authoritarian.
Mamdani and you actually pose with a terrorist sympathizer, then you might be mayor of New York City.
That's right. That's how the game works.
So remember when, along those lines, remember when Biden went to some firehouse or something in Pennsylvania, and the guy was like, "Will you wear this hat?" And it was like a MAGA hat, and he threw it on and he smiled and he patted the guy on the back and very
But that's like
in
that's like when you put a party hat on your dog and your dog doesn't even know what's going on. You know what I mean? Come on, Rusty, this is funny. Come on. And the dog's walking sideways a little bit and doesn't really get what's happening.
But I think
you're in human years, you're 40 today, Rusty. I made a cake out of gizzards. And the dog's I don't know. It's scraping against stuff, trying to get up. It wasn't like Joe Biden was endorsing anybody. He didn't know what was going on.
Well, I think that he was cogent in that moment and did know what was going on. And it just goes to show how when he called Trump a fascist and dangerous to democracy and all that stuff, to me, it shows that he doesn't believe it.
Oh, he doesn't believe it at all.
Karine Jean-Pierre still believes, though, that he was totally fine to run for president. We have some video of that.
I like this.
I saw a guy.
The lone clapper.
I know that's not a lone crap. I'll tell you how that works. This is the job I want. I want to do this job. There's a guy. Everyone, whenever you watch Time Out with Bill Maher, there's one guy out there. And George Clooney will go, last time I checked, I thought we're living in a democracy. And you'll hear, and then everyone jumps
Everyone's
in.
supposed to follow
Everyone
him.
jumps in. There's one guy who's always premature clapper guy, but he works there. And he's the audience warm-up guy, whatever, and you'll hear him just clap. He'll get 2 claps in, and then that signals to everyone oh, he just said something that had a lot of gravitas behind it, but probably doesn't mean anything. But that's when you jump in. At some point they go, I'm sorry, to me, they're not Republican children. They're not Democratic children. They're just hungry children, and they need to be fed. And then And then everyone jumps in, right?
But nobody jumped in.
This guy, like, she'll play it again. He's like, I got it good. So they stand him there and they go, you're in charge of clappable moments. When you hear like a good,
he was able to govern.
when you
That's
hear a
what she
good
says.
clappable
Yeah.
moment,
Yeah.
like when someone says something or punctuates something or whatever, and like they have to say something like, you say what you want about Joe Biden, but he's still a man. That when you hear something like that, that's when you. It doesn't have to make sense, and it could be a lie, and it probably is bullshit. But you clap. You just start everyone. You're the clapping kindling. You kindle the clapping fire.
And he gets paid for that.
That guy sighed like into the office and like, Rob, you've had 4 premature claps in this many shows. You've lost your fastball.
No, probably not, because they're all lefties too. So they wanted the audience to clap, but the audience is just sitting there in awe
but
of
as
her
the
lying.
clapper starter, you got to know, like, if you don't get that audience to go with you,
Yeah.
They're not going to
that's
go with you the next
distracting.
time. Too.
That's right.
Like
we've lost confidence
right.
in you. And they probably show up like the pitcher taking the guy off the mound.
Yeah.
It's like, put the windbreaker on. We're going back to the dugout. And it's like, I got more clap in me, coach. Yeah,
Nah,
okay.
we're gonna bring in the closer.
Yeah, we're going to bring in the closer clapper. The clapper closer. Yeah. I want to see the clip of her, Andrew, that I gave you earlier today where she does the as a black woman, which is I love when she makes the rounds and does as a black woman and as a black lesbian. That's my favorite part. Especially the thing that's comical is the only reason you have this job is because you're a black lesbian, and then they act like all the hurdles they had to
By the way,
overcome.
isn't the comms director? I mean, it's not as important as the secretary, like all of the cabinet meetings he was missing, and how we now know that he would just send staffers into those, or the staffers would just go without him. But I would think that comms is pretty important because you're doing that press briefing every single day. My understanding from Dana Perino, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, Caroline Leavitt, etc., was that you have meetings or you have a rundown with the president every single day about issues because she's the person in the hot seat having to address the press every day.
Mhm.
And she just said there, she's like, I saw him almost every day.
Yeah.
Why didn't you talk to him every day?
Listen. I like to play the game stupid or liar. She could be kind of
Both.
simultaneously, like she could be a Reese's peanut butter cup of stupid and liar, like part stupid and part liar.
That makes
She's
sense.
definitely dumb,
Yeah.
and she lies.
Yeah.
But this clip is great. I didn't know they were actually throwing vulnerable people under the bus.
I feel like that'd make some headlines.
If they physically threw vulnerable
There's some
people,
people
they're
under-
actually throwing people. It's actually funny because she can't speak clearly, which is one of the prerequisites of her job. But all right, keep playing
Democratic
it.
Party side of things. A black woman.
Oh, you
who-
pause there, hold on. I love the body language. I love when they lean back
Like
and they go,
gesturing
as
to
a black, oh my God, you're a black woman? I didn't know that. I've never met a black woman. Man, Esther Roll from Good Times is the only black woman I've ever heard of, and historically, but okay. As a black woman, okay. As a black woman, she's going to explain that the Democratic Party is throwing black women under the bus. Also, there's a fundamental problem. They're not supposed to do shit for you. They're just supposed to do shit for the country, and then
Everybody.
you could benefit.
Mm-hmm.
The mindset of what are you doing for us as a black woman is very flawed, but we'll hear through the halls. She's not Kool-Aid.
She's a ghost.
She didn't, what? The thing that's funny about her, she can't speak in this. You know she's a DEI hire. She's having trouble putting the sentence together. As a black woman who's walked through the walls and through the subflooring
Listen,
and through the attic and ceiling and roofing and fireplace flue.
I'm empathetic as a often tired gal who can stumble on words and talks with my hands a lot, but her hand motions are very distracting.
How about the hallowed walls? How about walls, the mentholatum lozenge? How about the game show host, Monty Walls? Okay, going too deep. All right. Dawson got
Bus.
that one. I feel like all they do is kiss black ass on the Democratic Party, and if they're black and you're a woman, that's all you got for the Democratic Party. So I don't see the forgotten
don't
and the
forget the
invisible
lesbian.
part. Oh,
I
the
mean,
lesbian.
as a black
Oh.
lesbian woman, she's ticking all the boxes. The only thing she could be doing better is maybe be a white man who claims to be a black woman.
Yeah,
And then
but
the
we're not
left
even
would
there
go
yet.
Crazy.
All right, so the leftists turn their back on black women.
Specifically, Karine Jean-Pierre, who
And they're
has a book deal and is on a tour right now and gets to go on late night TV.
What does it mean to turn your back on black women? Like, what were you supposed to do?
And are they
or-
throwing them under the bus or are they turning their backs on them?
Oh, that's a good point. I think there's kind of turning their back and then throwing them
throwing them
over their
backwards.
shoulder under the bus. And that's what's happening in 2025 from this person who I like long hair on a woman. And I rarely say this, but she should have kept her hair up.
I literally said to some of the guys earlier, I was like, typically her attire and her makeup and hair are flawless across the board. Like, I don't like her, agree with her politically, but like, I'm like, good on the outfits, girl. This is not a good look. It's like a cute dress, but not for television. It's messing with the camera. I don't like the eye makeup on her. I don't like the longer hair, and I don't like the highlights. She needs to go back to like
orange is not a good highlight.
she needs to go back. She looks really great in bright colors. She's a stunning woman. Like,
She
she's
looked
very
great with her hair
pretty.
short, but
She
you know
looks so
what?
good with her hair short.
I had a thought. You may disagree.
Mm-hmm.
I've never thought of this before.
Okay.
Guys don't like short hair.
My husband says this all the time.
He's a genius, this guy. Although for a guy who doesn't like short hair, he sure cuts a lot of hair.
He cuts my son's hair. He doesn't cut my daughter's hair.
Okay.
Okay.
But he claims. I know. So guys don't like short hair on a woman. But there is an element of the short hair where we go, man, she's cute with short hair.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine the potential. Imagine if she grew that hair out where
Like
we'd
how
be.
much hotter she'd be.
Right, right.
So like if she's an 8 with a bob,
right,
then you're like, damn, she gets that collarbone length and she's a 10.
right. So I can't tell if I like KJP's short hair or I was dreaming about the potential of the long hair.
Oh.
But now I've taken a glimpse into the future and I've seen the long hair and I don't like it. And now I'm ruined on her.
Well, I hate to break it to you.
I could get her.
You're not her type for
I could
two
get-
big reasons.
Yeah, well, I got one bigger one, baby, that all women recognize.
So that, and also, I don't know that she'd date a guy that's a little right leaning or logical leaning on top of
logical
the fact that
leaning.
she prefers the ladies. And I think she's married.
The long hair with the orange highlight is not good, and I've also given up on the potential of her. I've realized when she had that short hair, there was something there.
Yeah.
Do we-
Despite the fact that she fumbled her words and covered up for a dementia-riddled president.
First off,
You're holding out hope.
This isn't her fault, just like it's none of the dingbat DEI hires' faults from the Biden administration. He just took these idiots and shoved them into places they weren't supposed to be.
Yeah.
And then they couldn't do the job because they weren't qualified to do
Like
the
Justice
job.
Jackson.
Yeah, so there's nothing. How else would you go? She's on the Supreme Court and she's a dingbat. Yeah, she was a DEI hire.
Yeah, she
and
did-
Sotomayor was too. And of course, they're the only two dingbats on the Supreme Court. But fine.
Sotomayor at least worked at Harvard.
Yeah, but she
She's
may be dumber than
Then Ketanji Brown Jackson?
she's the one who was complaining about kids being on ventilators or something when she was trying to get everyone vaccinated, forced to be vaccinated. KJP not married, so the window's
she's
still
not.
open.
Okay, so she's just a lesbian that Adam thinks that he can win over.
And well, I call turning her out, but
Uh-huh.
yeah, win over if that's your vernacular. Fine.
Sounds
I
a
call
little-
turning them out.
Like,
I'll
sounds
turn
a
her
little-
out. There's the clip of her on a friendly podcast, Andrew, where she was talking over. There is a thing. Now, again, I don't want to take a turn for the feminine or the black, But there is a thing that women do, but especially black women do, is when they start hearing something they don't want to hear, they'll just talk. They'll go, uh-oh.
Ooh.
I mean, it's like, I'll tell you what, let's do some role playing, Dawson. You go.
Dawson's the girl? Or you're the girl?
I'm going to do it because I feel like you're going to fuck it up. But you can try. Let's have you try.
I'm just going to sit back and observe.
You try.
Two cis.
Dawson may fuck it
men.
up too. But Dawson, here's what I'll tell you what. Here's your job in this acting experiment.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to say, well, I got news for you. And then I'll go, lay it on me. And then you go, I heard you were cheating on your wife. And then just keep talking about how you heard it. And then I'll tell you what black chicks do, right?
I got news for you, pal.
Yeah, well, let's hear it.
I heard you were cheating on your wife.
Yeah, well, you know what?
Phil
a lot of
told me
people
he
say
wouldn't shut
a
up
lot
about
of
it. He
things.
was
A
doing
lot
his
of people say a
lawn.
lot of
He
things.
said-
A lot of people say a lot of things. A lot of people say a lot of things. Like they go, that's how you know it happened. Because if it didn't happen, you go, yeah, all right, tell me, where was I? Because I was out of town last week. But go ahead. Right. But they'll do the, heard something that's true. Gonna go right over the top. This is her. She's a communications person, a press person. She's being interviewed. So listen what happens during this interview.
We did have legislative wins.
Sure,
and
but he didn't talk about him that well, though. He couldn't talk about them. He wasn't campaigning that
Wait, first of all, he did talk about them. Whether it broke through or not, he did. Tim, he did talk about.
I mean, he talked way less to the press than Donald Trump does. Way less. And he wasn't out there at all. He wasn't good off the cuff. He wasn't doing press conferences. Let's just be real. Like, he didn't do paid events.
But Tim, that's not true.
Okay, she said, but Tim, pardon me. She said, but Tim 9 times.
I think it was 9 or 10 times. That reminds me of my
Right, so he
6-year-old.
just goes, he talked to the press way less than Donald Trump does.
Fact check true.
Which is the most accurate statement since the sky is blue and the earth is round. I mean, he just said it, and
But Tim.
Like, okay, just go. Let him say what he has to say, and then go, well, you know what, Tim? I'll tell you this. In Biden's first year of office, he did 141 press conferences, and Trump's only done 89. So how do you like that?
Or he had this many legislative wins compared to President Trump's yada yada.
But Tim, yeah, just go back 30 seconds and just listen. First off, it's bad communication.
It reminds me of my 6-year-old when she's trying to blame something on my 8-year-old.
It's also these people, these poor people, because they're like, wait a minute.
This guy's a liberal and he's shaking
my
his
whole
head.
thing, it's the funniest thing because they go, I thought our agreement was I go on your super liberal show and you don't ask any questions. What happened to the agreement we had? Which is popping up more and more now. But here it is. But Tim.
He did talk about them. Whether it broke through or not, he did. Tim, he did talk about.
I mean, he talked way less to the press than Donald Trump does. Way less. And he wasn't out there at all. He wasn't good off the cuff. He wasn't doing press conferences. Let's just be real. Like, he didn't do paid events.
But Tim, that's not true. Tim, you're conflating all of it.
I think she said it 8 times.
All right.
I counted 8
It's not
Tims.
true. What isn't true? Donald Trump is doing a press conference somewhere right now, and he's on the toilet. He's physically sitting on a toilet, making a number 2, and there's 3 reporters in the bathroom with him because he couldn't take a break from talking to reporters.
Well, he's also on Truth Social.
Right. And Biden would call a wrap at 3 p.m. and then do a thing where they go, hey, they told me not to talk about stuff. I mean, but Timbuktu. All right, Alicia KRAUSS.
Yes, sir.
Let me give you a plug.
Oh, thanks. I think you're going to like my op-ed this week.
Oh, yeah? The Washington Examiner? What's it on?
About how women should be eating peanuts and medical community is full of shit.
Oh my God. Oh, my God. My book from 15 years ago, I was screaming about give them peanuts.
Yeah.
Give them peanuts.
And a pregnant gal can have some sushi and a glass of wine every once in a while, too.
God. I'm reading that. All right, I'm going to be at Flappers in Burbank on the 29th, and Boston at the Wilbur Theater. That'll be November 6th, and then the 7th, and Buffalo, New York at Electric City. And go to adamcarolla.com for all the live dates. And Kevin Federline, You Thought You Knew, is the name of the book's available as we speak. And Fitz Dog's got live shows everywhere at GregFitzsimmons.com. Until next time, Sam Kroll for Gary Fitzsimmons and Kevin Federline, Alicia KRAUSS saying, Mahala.